I just want to have good things as a Red Sox fan. I don't want to listen to the song. I don't want to celebrate. We had the best.
It's our only hit.
We had the best day as Red Sox fans we've had in years last week. 4 days later, it all goes to hell.
Did you hear Felger? Was it really big day? Felger, the guy being of, how does Drake May not fly back for his coach's press conference? Big day, right? In sports. Felger was on vacation. Didn't fly back for Bregman's first day.
Let's call it what it is. It wasn't a big day because it was a Red Sox day for Mike.
All right. Didn't you see this coming, though?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, I totally
you're not
saw
surprised by this, are you?
No. Actually, can I hear? So that's Rafael Devers.
Rafael Devers.
Speaking a few minutes ago.
Give credit to Shaughnessy saying, can you translate when they asked him, what would you say if they asked you to play DH? No.
Adamantly saying he does not want to move from third base. No, I did see this coming because Alex Cora kind of told you it was coming last week. This is Cora being asked about, this is before Bregman signed. First day of camp being asked about Rafael Devers, the status of third base. Listen to what Rafael Devers did, according to Alex Cora.
Just in terms of, those guys that played third base for a long time, you talked about, you've been asked about Rafi. You said the first conversation about moving him, what happened with him. Have you broached that topic with him yet?
We had conversations about where he's at right now. He was here until Friday, and he knows what's going on. We've been talking about everything from what we're trying to accomplish roster-wise to what we need to accomplish for him. And I think right now the main thing, is not positions or additions or whatever, is for him to have a healthy camp. He had a good off-season as far as the shoulders. He's in a good spot. He's been here for 3 weeks. He went home, of course, to be with his family.
Stop right there. He went home, of course, to be with his family.
You've been home all winter.
After we talked about what was going on, and I'm paraphrasing there, Rafael Devers was in Fort Myers. The Red Sox sat down with him and told him what was going on. Devers has essentially acknowledged that today, that Cora and Breslow sat him down.
We talked.
Devers went home. He went home for a few days. He didn't have to report till today. Rafael Devers protested what Alex Cora and Craig Breslow told him, which was, we're going to be signing Alex Bregman.
Now, you on? I'm assuming that you feel like he should move positions. Are you on? Yes. Are you on his side or are you on the Red Sox side? Whose side are you on?
I'm on the team side.
You're on the team side.
I'm on what's best for the team. But what kind of shape did he show up in? What do you think he looked?
Thank you, Zoe. I was going to say, if
he had a great offseason.
If your plan was, hey, I'm going to get into the best shape of my life. I'm going to show you that I'm a good third baseman because we all agree he's a better player overall. He's a better player than Alex Bregman.
Yes, but he's not a better fielder.
He's not a better fielder than Alex Bregman. He's a better player than Alex Bregman. He has been here. He has been a part of a championship team here. He wasn't the number one guy in 2018, but he was on that team. He won a World Series in Boston. Theoretically, it's his team. So if somebody comes to his team, it makes him change positions. Heard that, Zoe. Good job.
That wasn't me.
Oh, that wasn't you. That was the chair?
No, what the hell was that?
Okay.
I heard it too.
Okay.
It was a low moan.
It was McCarthy. All right.
You rip ass? I have no problem ripping ass. I'll rip ass on the show. I've done before.
But if you're coming to my team to make me change positions and I put the work in, now I got a problem with it. But we need to know if he put the work in. The bottom line is, McCarthy, the Boston Red Sox had more errors than everybody in baseball last year, except for one team, the Miami Marlins. They had the one of the worst fielding, second to worst fielding percentage in baseball. And so they were the worst team in their division, obviously, when it came to this. Deficient defensive efficiency. They're one of the worst teams in baseball. And part of the reason is third base. What makes them better, short of some awesome Rafael Devers offseason program, what makes them better is Devers at DH, Bregman at third.
No.
And this guy is saying, I'm not going to do it. Well, you got to do it. You have to.
Well, they got a problem because he's got 8 or 9 years left on his contract.
They don't have a problem.
Oh, they might.
No, you know what? You got to play.
They might.
You got to DH.
You want to hear from Chris Smith?
We'll give you a
on
personal
Twitter?
day.
Sure.
Does he want to be traded if they tell him Bregman is the third baseman? Quote, that's a tough answer to give. I haven't given it much thought, but I'm open to listening.
Come on, Brad.
That's a we're not there yet. That's a we're not yet.
You need a day. Hey,
how about just no? He's known about this for weeks now.
Hey, Zo, let's go.
So how about just no?
No.
Hey, Zo, let's
It's
go
very
tier
easy
5.
for him to say.
Let's go tier 5.
No.
We have the tier 4 holidays, and then tier 5 is personal days. When your employer says, you know what, I'm going to give you a couple of personal days.
I don't get it.
Because I can see your little, you need some time.
Need break.
Just a time just to think.
Get away from it.
And this is, it's not, and I know Tony Maz remembers this in covering the Red Sox. Back in the day when Nomar was taking over for John Valentin. Hey, Val, you lost your position. Now you're a third baseman. You were a shortstop. Now you're a third baseman. Got the kid, Nomar. He left camp for a day or two. Then he got it right. See, guys don't like losing their positions, especially the kids. But in this case, you didn't lose it to a kid. For him, it's probably worse because now it's an outsider. He hasn't
this doesn't have to be a quick thing.
He
This could
hasn't
be
done anything for this
This
organization.
could be a drawn-out 2-year thing.
No, it should not. This is.
You hope not, but
I'm going to give you. You know what, Devers? I'll give you more than a personal day. If I'm Alex Cora, I'm going to give you a month to figure it out. You're going to be with the team in camp. I'm going to give you a month to figure it out. But when the season starts, damn it, you're going to be either a DH or a first baseman. Probably DH.
No.
And you don't have to love it now. You don't have to love it in the middle of March. But our first game of the year, you got to love that you're the DH. We're not trading you.
Yeah.
And Bregman is the third baseman. Because it's just better. They were bad. Hey, you Red Sox fanboys like you, I'm talking about you, McCarthy. You're just kind of whistling past some really major issues with the team. It's a miracle that they won 81 games last year.
Sure is.
It's a damn miracle. They're an awful defensive team.
Right.
So you can't get better. You're not going to get better if you don't switch. It's really not up to Rafael Devers. He can't stay at third base.
It's obvious.
He can't stay there.
Your best team is with Bregman at third base. They signed him to eventually be the third baseman here. The question is Devers going to take that? Is he going to accept it? Or is this going to be a long, drawn-out issue? Because this is not a one-year thing with Bregman. Even if he does opt out after this year, you have Meyer and Campbell coming up. Reportedly today, Campbell is only working at second base. Rafael Devers will not be the third baseman of the Boston Red Sox moving forward. He will either be a DH, maybe a first baseman, but he's not going to play third base. That's not going to happen.
And do you love him as a first baseman?
I do not. He should be a DH.
Right, he's a DH.
Maybe
it's
he's the
easy.
type of player. He
It's
knows
obvious.
that I got to stay engaged. I need to be out there a lot. I just can't sit there and wait to hit.
I don't fault him for wanting to play the field. He's always wanted to play the field.
Everyday players want to play every day.
And you know what? I would criticize somebody who wouldn't want to play the field. I will criticize him, though, if he does not accept this, because this is for the best.
This
it's for
sucks
the best
because
for him, and it's for the best of the team.
We
And
bitch
he's
about
not
this team
accepting it.
not having names, not having star power, firepower. They go and they add a guy like Bregman. And you look at that infield, it could be Story, Bregman,
Campbell.
Devers, say it's Casas. Yeah, but eventually when Campbell plays, like you got loaded freaking infield,
Yep.
and he's against it. He's resisting what you said, a nice thing that happened to the team.
What's his plan?
Finally?
I want to know what's his plan.
Yeah.
Did he?
But how about
that-
Cora?
that-
Cora said he had a good offseason. His shoulders look good. Looks like he did nothing. He looks out of shape.
Yeah, it's really tough. And now here's the good news. If you're the Boston Red Sox and you're paying a DH what you're paying Rafael Devers and you're good with that, fine. Because most teams will say, well, that's a lot of money to pay a guy who doesn't play in the field. But baseball has changed. DH is universal in the game now. That's good. It's a real position. And you know what, McCarthy, if only the Red Sox had a guy that they could talk to, that Devers could talk to. Maybe a guy who speaks Spanish. Maybe a guy who's from the Dominican.
He's around enough.
Who knows what it's like to be a full-time DH. I wish the Red Sox had somebody like that. Somebody who had really succeeded at the position and played it at a Hall of Fame level. If somebody he could really model himself after and say, hey, this could be a good thing for you. It's too bad the Red Sox they don't know anybody like that around.
Certainly not. Of course, they don't have a manager that relates to the players as well either. I mean, Alex Cora certainly doesn't do that. Good vibes, good feelings for a few days. Now your star player says, I do not want to move positions, and he's going to try and throw a wrench into all of it. Nice way to start camp.
Nice team you got, Maz.
Not great. Not what you're looking for. Alex Cora. a few minutes ago on Devers. Quote, he has a lot of pride. We know that. He feels like he's a third baseman. He's going to work out as the third baseman. And we're going to make the decisions accordingly. Here, it's not about Bregman or Devers or Cora. It's about the Boston Red Sox.
Oh, it's a competition then.
Come on. Come on. What are we doing? What are we doing? Alex, just say it. It's a tough decision. It's not a tough decision. It's a tough conversation, but it's an easy decision.
He's got to worry about him. He's got to protect his ego.
You went out and signed a guy to a $40 million per season contract. It's $40 million per season. He's not a second baseman. And so, like, we're just dancing around. Well, he could play second base. No, he's not a second baseman. He's a third. Alex Bregman is a third baseman. He's a better third baseman than Devers. Devers is a better hitter than Bregman, or power. If you're looking for a slugger, Devers is a slugger. Bregman used to be. He's not. Devers is a real slugger. He's a DH.
You bring up the best point as opposed to Corey. It's really Ortiz. Like, get him in, talk to the guy. Hey, do you understand how far you could protect your career? How long you could be doing this? How much money you can make your family?
And
how much of a better hitter you could become?
I was going to say,
how much I can help you hone
Stay healthy.
Yes,
all that.
Why is he hurt? Playing every day.
This is a position that allows you to be a diva. That's what it is. All you have to do is focus on. You got to focus on yourself. You don't have to worry about your defense.
One of the best players in the sport are DHs.
You get to study. You get to study the pitchers. You know what they're doing to you. That's your sole focus is offense. That is what they pay you for, hitting and being obsessed with hitting. And I think he would be great at it. But there's no question the Red Sox, for their best team, you got to have Bregman at third base. But that we didn't talk about Jim McCaffrey's story in The Athletic, where she talks about this whole recruiting of Alex Bregman. And it was like a month and a half of lots of phone calls between Sam Kennedy and Boris and Breslow and Boris, and conversations between Theo Epstein. Thank you, Theo, getting back in the mix. We missed you. Theo advising Breslow on how to structure the deal. This has been happening for a month and a half.
What do you make of the deferred money now?
But I'm saying, but if it's been happening for a month and a half, when did you start, kind of massaging?
It's a great point.
Rafael Devers and saying, hey, man, hey, we want Bregman. We want him. And if we get him here, you're going to be a DH.
I've got a quote for you. Craig Breslow in December. Rafael Devers is our third baseman.
That creates an issue.
If you were told, if you were told.
My guy running baseball operations tells me that I'm the third baseman. If you're paying me what you're paying me, I'm your most tenured guy. I'm your captain. I'm your leader.
Right. But
December.
Right, but they've been talking with Bregman all offseason. There were stories. Ken Rosenthal wrote a story in August or September talking about the Red Sox going out and getting Bregman and moving Devers to either DH or first base. This has been out there, and that was obvious that story was informed. The Red Sox have been looking at this maybe since Breslow came in, since the summer, whenever, for months, maybe years now. The Red Sox have been looking at a situation where they can move Devers off of third base because they know, as you've alluded to, Holly, they know their best team is with somebody else at third base, and Rafael Devers is the DH. But they've known for years that Devers doesn't want to do it. He has said it publicly. I've heard privately, behind the scenes for years, that Devers doesn't want to move. He feels strongly about it. He feels passionately about it. And the Red Sox, instead of being honest with him and upfront with him about this, we're going to go out and we're going to get Devers, are saying in December, Rafael Devers is our third baseman.
But that's one. Yeah, you have to say that in December. However, this is what I would say to him. Yeah, you're the third baseman for now, but the numbers speak for themselves. Isn't baseball all about the numbers? It's a number. I know for some people, math is hard. We don't like math, but the math says you're bad defensively.
Yeah,
the math says that Devers is worse at third base. Last year, you had one guy who won a Gold Glove at third base. No matter how you feel about that, he was a Gold Glove third baseman last year. And Devers was one of the worst third basemen in baseball.
And has been for quite some time. And is not getting better and is getting older. And,
you're our guy
half the time.
Unless we bring in somebody who can do the job better than you. We're not firing Rafael Devers the player, we're firing the defensive part of you. The defensive part of your job is fired. But we need you to be an offensive force. Now you can spend more time thinking you are a full-time hitter. And how long did they start? How long ago did they start these conversations?
Oh, they've been doing this for quite some
with
time.
Him.
I'm sure they have.
Oh
no,
I
think probably when he came into camp is when they first really brought it up. Based on everything that was said over the offseason, I have to work under the assumption that they approached Devers a few days ago, and that's why he was upset and left camp. I think that seems obvious to me. More from Devers. He says he's disappointed that the Red Sox are going back on their promise to have him be the third baseman long-term when he signed the long-term extension. But Cora just said there's different leadership here now. Quote, Heim is in St. Louis, unquote.
Oh, good job, Cora. Good job, Cora.
For real? That's a real quote?
Wait, we have the sound?
What?
We have the sound.
Oh, God.
Oh, wait a minute. This is
got
nasty.
issues.
This is getting nasty.
Signed the long-term extension that you guys said that he'd be the third baseman long-term. Do you think the relationship is strained right now? He doesn't seem happy that, like, the team has gone back on their word. Strange between
Different people here, right? There's a different leader here. So, Heim is in St. Louis right now.
Oh, that's so good.
Good for you.
Suck on that, Heim.
Whose baseball team? Mine.
Oh, God.
We're going to do it my way. Oh. Got inked up. Got the new deal.
I need to run that
My
back.
team.
No, give that to me
My
again.
Run that.
That is
Run that
so,
back.
That's
Run
the
that
best
back.
thing I've heard.
There's a different leader here. So, Heim is in St. Louis right now.
That's
That
why I
idiot.
signed back. That's why I signed back.
That idiot Heim Bloom
Good
is
for
no
you,
longer
Cora.
here, and we're going to build
That's
a better
stiff.
baseball
We got a new
team.
stiff, and I own his ass.
God.
Heim is in St. Louis.
You guys, you know how I felt.
We got a
about
new
Heim
robot,
for
and
years.
I control it.
Give me the T-shirt.
That is the best.
I want the T-shirt. I want the bumper sticker. I want the hat. Heim is in St. Louis.
Good one.
I'm going to
Especially if they win the World Series.
Heim is in St. Louis right now.
Heim is in St. Louis.
I'm going to need to contact my doctor in 4 hours after hearing that. That's
So you feel better
good.
now. That's good.
No, I mean, the thing's a mess, but at least Heim Bloom got some shrapnel on the way out. No, this is a disaster, guys. This is not good. Your best player, your $330 million player, doesn't want to change positions. And it would be better for the team if he changed positions. And now we are introducing this element to a team that you felt good about going into this season. Now we're introducing this, and this is going to hang like a dark cloud.
Well, you know what?
over-
Trade him, reallocate his money, go get a bigger bat.
No. Don't trade him.
You can't
Don't trade him.
He's not.
You're not
he's
going
not
to trade
worth-
him.
He's going to be a DH. He's not worth anything in a trade.
And this was part of the process. Because you say, oh, now it's ugly. Well, it would be ugly if you keep the status quo. If you bring in Alex Bregman, you make him a second baseman, you make Christian Campbell wait a little bit because second base is suddenly blocked for a year until Bregman opts out after the year. And then you have Devers at third. You know what you are? You're bad.
Yep.
You're still bad defensively. And we haven't even talked about first base. Their whole infield structure, infield defense was miserable. And you just need to blow that up and start over. Part of starting over is putting Alex Bregman at third base. And I don't know what they're going to do at second, and I don't know what they're going to do at first, but I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable with what the Red Sox have right now with their defense. If you finish like that, if you are the second worst team in baseball, fielding percentage and errors, it's not an accident. It's not a bad game. It's not a bad month. You're a bad team. So you got to do something different. And I hope Rafael Devers is one of the leaders of this team would recognize that.
It doesn't sound like it, Holly. Full phone lines. Let's get to you. Jared in Nashville to lead things off. Jared.
Hey, guys. How are y'all?
Good.
Great. Hey, listen, I agree with everything you said since you came back from break. If he's not willing to move, I mean, the stats say it all. It's clear. Bregman's better at third. Let him focus on hitting, prolong his career into a big poppy role. Not saying he's going to be like him. I'm just saying into that role. Let him grow as a hitter. Give him some time. Bregman.
Well, he's not willing to do that. I'm sorry. I got to let you go because we got full phone lines. Mateo in Salem. Mateo.
Hello. How are you boys?
Good.
Hey, Mateo.
Hey, all right. So the problem is with Devers not wanting to move to DH. It's not Devers himself. You know, like we've said, we have him on contract until 2033. It's the future of the rest of the Sox team because you put Devers at third base. that means Bregman's going to have to either slide to second or first, which is a lose-lose either way, because that means you either got to delay Christian Campbell from playing, or you put Bregman at first place. That means the Red Sox are trying to trade Casas, and I don't understand why Casas has been in these trade talks so much.
Because he's a pain in the ass. I'll let you go on that. He's a pain in the ass, and he's got injury concerns. I love Casas' potential. I do. But if you can get a young, controllable starting pitcher, I would
deal with this. The potential things you could have with this a-hole down the road.
And you have
seems like a problem.
You have too many left-handed hitters. Plain and simple.
Yep.
There's a lefty still needs to go, and if Tristan Casas is getting me a good return, I would consider it. If Rafael Devers wants to play the field, pick up a first baseman's mitt and learn how to play.
Don't love it.
Because that's going to be the only pathway forward for him.
And I don't love that either.
I don't feel good about it either, but if he feels so strongly about it, grab a first baseman's mitt and learn some cutoffs. That's what you need to do. Start picking balls out of the dirt because, buddy, you're not going to be a third baseman here moving forward. And Campbell's coming up. Myers coming up. You have no place to play.
And you say it's a disaster. It's not a disaster. It's a tension point. It's a tension point in spring training because it's happened before. Most guys don't like to change positions. You know, the famous example, it didn't happen. Derek Jeter, A-Rod, but it was Derek Jeter. He's a captain. He's a shortstop of the Yankees. He was a champion, a champion multiple times over. A-Rod had never won anything in his career. You're coming to my team, my city. You're going to play third base, even though A-Rod was a better shortstop defensively than Derek Jeter. In this case, I don't know. Devers, he's the guy on the team, but do you look at Devers, do you say Boston is Rafael Devers' city?
No.
And even though he's the best player on the team, is this his team? Is this a Devers team? Is he carrying this team? It doesn't feel like that. He's the most talented player on this team, but he doesn't have that status where he can kind of dictate policy.
Devers tried to last spring training. He called the team out. He said, "We know what we need," and that was the first big
McCarthy,
leadership moment for him.
That's the irony.
But he's not willing to do it now.
The irony, it's almost like this. It's like the people say, "Hey, we got to get better around here. Hey, things got to improve in the workplace." Well, okay, things are improving in the workplace, but now that means because they're improving, we brought in more talent. It has led to a new role for you. Because last year, he's upset. He's speaking in Spanish. Remember last year? Hey, we need to bring in more players. He's been very vocal at the deadline. And we got to make some trades.
They just did.
And when they make moves to improve the team, he doesn't want to do it because he wants his role to stay the same. So essentially, Rafael, what you're saying is we got to make some moves as long as I don't have to do anything different.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Zolak and Bertrand here. For more Red Sox analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.